क्या चल रहा है? कल टेस्ट कर ले। थोड़ा सा आज नहीं है, कल दे रही हूँ थोड़ा टाइम प्रिपरेशन। कुछ एको आ रहा है ना? हे स्टूडेंट, प्लीज शेयर योर नंबर. Some of us has decided to create a group on WhatsApp, Telegram. क्या ही फर्क पड़ेगा? पता नहीं पड़ी क्या चल रहा है ये? कितने खाली हो गए हो भाई बच्चे? क्यों? हाँ, एको एको क्या क्या कह रहे? अच्छा, टीवी की आवाज आ रही है। तो भाई देखो बच्चों, ये ग्रुप ग्रुप फालतू की बातें हैं। ऑनलाइन ग्रुप्स, व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप्स, टेलीग्राम ग्रुप्स और जितने भी ग्रुप्स है ना, ये सब है टाइम पास, टाइम वेस्ट के तरीके। अगर आपको कुछ भी डिस्कस करना है तो मेंटर से करो, हमसे करो। उससे ज्यादा जो भी डिस्कशन होता है ना, वो सब है टाइम वेस्ट, टाइम पास। अब बेसिकली पढ़ना नहीं है तो क्या करना है ना? इफ यू डोंट वांट टू स्टडी, व्हाट एल्स टू डू? लेट अस डू सम टाइम वेस्ट. So spending half an hour on philosophy group equal to study. But actually, are you studying when you are on group? You are just messaging here and there. So anybody who is a serious aspirant should minimize number of groups, number of people you are interacting with. Simple. Because the space in your mind is limited. If you fill it with gossip, bad information, discussion about here and there, which is not going to help you in your exam, then at the end of the year, I have seen many students. GS coaching, done. Optional coaching, done. Test series, done. एक और test series, done. Books bought, done. Notes, most of them done, made. Once and twice reading about everything, yes, done. Part of many groups, done. Pretending to write answers, done. Pretending to solve questions, done. Showing your parents how difficult this exam is, done. And after all this is done, selection not done. And how many people are there? Maybe out of 100, 99 are like this. Even after this lecture, even after this Gyan, most of the students will still remain the same. But even if few of you mend your ways, this not selection can be turned to selection. Because we have sufficient time. है ना? Simple formula. We have sufficient time. So stop doing ये वाला टिक्का टिक्का. It doesn't help anybody. है ना? Groups, exchanging answers, or what do you say? Discussion about philosophers doesn't help. Philosophy is an optional where discussion appears to be the most engaging. We can fight over one simple question, whether there is God. Isn't it? We can fight for days with no conclusion and no answer. Philosophers have been fighting till now. Isn't it? Years and years and decades and centuries have gone by. But is there a solution? Do you know for certain? Whether Spinoza is right or whether Descartes is wrong can be discussed. And discussion is still going on. We are discussing that only, no, in our syllabus. But you people, if you discuss it among yourself, that's not going to help. What is going to help? Revise these notes 10 times. And solve answers, write PYQs 10 times. हो गया है ना. आफ्टर दैट you will not have any energy and neither the will to argue and discuss. But even without all this looking smart among your friends, even if you don't do it, this will help you get selected. So ultimate winner is the one who gets selected. So who wins in small debates, small groups, doesn't matter. If you get selected, people will invite you here. Simple, isn't it? Very simple. Pakka? You will not pretend that you are studying and doing really hard work. Don't pretend. Do it. Even if you are studying for 5 hours, honestly do it. और फक्र से बोलो 5 घंटे पढ़ता हूं मैं, सिर्फ और सिर्फ 5 घंटे पढ़ती हूँ या पढ़ता हूँ, और उसके बाद I watch Netflix. I go out with my, but that 5 hours should be absolute honest 5 hours. 7 hours, 8 hours, whatever. Absolute honest. है ना, वो वाले बच्चे नहीं बनना, है ना. अच्छा वाला गेम खेल रहे थे, आवाज आई मम्मी की, है ना, खट से किताब ओपन, खट से गेम बंद. We all must have done it at some point of time, है ना. But selection लेना है तो this attitude must go. Fine. So if group no, है ना, it's a waste time recipe. And even if you people have joined in, irrespective of GS group 1, history group 2, है ना, UPSC gang group 1, है ना, IAS buddies, सब फालतू बात है. Okay, so coming back to the Leibniz. You'll get it. You'll get it. Don't worry. Tomorrow is a test. Yes, before I forget, tomorrow is a test. Today I will leave you early. Don't worry. Plato, Aristotle, Descartes. ठीक है, पक्का? So tomorrow there is this test. There will be 10 questions. 10 questions, 10 marks each. Word limit is the same. So give proper. So I will have to increase your speed, है ना? 2, 3 answers हो गए अब. Let us move on to 10 questions. And then after some time, we will move on to the proper full paper style, so that you get that practice. Anybody who has written 20 full lengths, will that person have problem of speed? Will that person fear whether my paper will be completed or not? No. If he has written 20 into how many questions? Presentation part will be nearly okay. All of this must be okay. So our target is just simply focus on our content and write. Tomorrow there is a test. Okay, fine. Ma'am, I am not taking coaching for GS and now I am facing problem while reading book and it is taking too much time. So I am going to in right direction. मैं क्या बता सकती बेटा? You should try to read one, and so much material is available online. Watch something if you don't want to do GS coaching. That's not something which is irreplaceable. Ma'am, that is too much. अच्छा 10 question. मुझे लगा वो कह रहे हैं कि मैम बहुत बोल रही हैं आज. अच्छा मैम फर्स्ट टू फिलोसोफर ही इंक्लूड करो. नहीं नहीं नहीं. Well, let's try it, है ना? Even if you are not able to complete the syllabus, it's okay. You must be having some memory, है ना? And nobody is going to take you fine. We are not going to fine you for this, है ना? So if you are not able to remember something, you think, open your copies, see the content, learn it, and write. Objective of any test is to make you study, make you learn, and reproduce it for main exam. Rather than wasting time in not writing anything or trying to skip the test or doing any such escapist activity, what you can do? Read it there, then in the test, learn it and write. So everybody should give test, है ना? No excuses. मुझे नहीं आता था, है ना? मैंने पढ़ा नहीं था. कोई बात नहीं. क्या होगा? प्लेटो खोलो, है ना? Open the notes of Plato, revise there and then write it. So maybe you will not be able to write 10 questions. Maybe you will be able to write 2 questions. But those 2 you will learn maybe while sitting in the class. And those 2 you can reproduce or you can utilize when it's your mains exam. So don't worry. Don't give me those excuses. इसलिए टेस्ट नहीं दिया. Everybody should give test. Ma'am, we want to exhaust our all flaws before going exam. Yes, we will. मैं रहने भी नहीं दूंगी. Ma'am, please explain realism and idealism. So what is realism and what is idealism? When you consider the world as real, real means this table is real. I am real. But idealism means that this table and me are merely ideas. So to understand it in essence, it is like realism, people think that everything exists like we observe it. Idealists think that we are in a video game. We are in a video game where our ideas exist, where we have this feeling of touch. But what is touch? Exactly, it's just a sensation, which is part of our mind. So how do you know that there is something hard or a table sitting here? You cannot know. Sensations. But where do you know the sensations? Mind. Ultimately, sensations are part of mind. So what is how this virtual reality works? Works on the same principle. And if I give you a gloves with right receptors, then even without touching anything, I can make your hand feel burned. I can make your hand feel frozen. I can make your hand feel very crushed, hard on a rock. I can make your hand feel as if you are touching a cotton ball without even making your hand touch anything. Isn't it? So according to such a thing, it means whatever we know is only sensations. There is no other thing except sensations. When you believe such an idea, the philosophers who believe it are known as idealists. Simple. पक्का प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं है इसमें दोनों में? Okay. Let us write. We will write and I will explain simultaneously. Leibniz. Leibniz philosophy is called philosophy of common sense. Introduction. Yes. Leibniz philosophy is called philosophy of. एक सेकेंड रुको, थोड़ा सा और कहानी लिखवाऊं और you will read. You will read it from your printed notes. The story about calculus and all. Okay. So Leibniz philosophy is called philosophy of compromise. Compromise. Full stop. Leibniz has himself said To understand me, himself said that to understand me, one should go back to understand me, one should go back to Democritus. One should go back to Democritus, comma, Plato, comma, Aristotle, etc. etc. Full stop. He attempted to reconcile. He attempted to reconcile number one, mechanical and teleological views. Mechanical and teleological views. Second, inductive and deductive process. Inductive and deductive process. Third, reason and faith. Third, reason and faith. Next paragraph. He said, I have tried to reconcile Plato with Democritus. He said, inverted commas में लिख लें. I have tried to reconcile. I मतलब Leibniz. I have tried to reconcile Plato with Democritus, comma, Aristotle with Descartes, comma, theology and morals with the dictates of reason. Inverted commas, close. Full stop. Next heading. Criticism of Democritus by Leibniz. Criticism of Democritus by Leibniz. Leibniz was inspired by the atomism of Newton and Democritus. According to Democritus, the world is made up of indivisible material atoms. Indivisible material atoms. Full stop. But Leibniz rejected the physical atoms of Democritus. As anything which is having extension. Can be divisible. Full stop. Physical atoms, however small, will possess some extension. And anything which has extension can be divided further. And thing which can be divided further and thing which can be divided further. लिख लिया? Which can be divided further. मैं तो भूल भी गई क्या बता रही थी भी. हाँ, which can be divided further cannot be a substance. Cannot be a substance. Full stop. Therefore, he rejected physical atoms and gave his theory of spiritual atoms based on monads. Gave his theory of spiritual atoms based on monads. Monads की spelling है monads. Next paragraph. Further, atoms are dead particles of matter. Further, atoms are dead particles of matter which cannot explain the dead particles of matter which cannot explain the living and spiritual existence of humans. Which cannot explain the living and spiritual existence of humans. Third, yeah, next paragraph. One atom is different from another only in mass. One atom is different from another only in mass, comma, size and shape. Size and shape. However, quantitative difference cannot explain the qualitative differences found in the universe. Differences found in the universe. Therefore, Leibniz concluded that the real element which makes up the world should be spiritual, like monads. तो क्या पॉइंट्स दिए इन्होंने? तो पहली बात तो क्या हुई? डेमोक्रिटस, व्हाट इज द थ्योरी ऑफ डेमोक्रिटस? नथिंग, सिर्फ एटॉमिज्म. Democritus accepted that world is made up of material physical atoms, the atom of science. So at that time it was believed that atom cannot be divided any further. What is the, how, you know, the word atom, what does it mean? Tommy means cut, something which is cut, है ना? So something which cannot be cut is known as atom. The word atom is derived out of this whole philosophy or the concept. So atom was considered that something which cannot be divided any further. And according to Democritus, the world is made up of atoms. But problem is, even imagine how intelligent Leibniz was at that time. He said that anything which has extension can be divided further. So this means right now we might not be having ability to divide the atom, but in future there will be the ability to divide atom also. And even further, if we now know it is true, we have divided the atom, we have found the parts, and we have gone a little more, yet the whatever lepton we have found or whatever we have found, can it be further divided? Yes. So according to Leibniz, anything which can be further and further divided cannot be the fundamental element of this world, cannot be the fundamental element, and it cannot be the substance. Therefore, world is definitely not made up of material atoms. Second thing, that world also has conscious beings like us. But can atom explain consciousness? What is the difference between one atom and another? Mass, shape, and size, isn't it? So the difference between copper atom and gold atom, the difference between atom found in our body and atom which makes up this table. Any qualitative difference? Only difference is shape and size. Can you understand? Wait, the atom found in this table and atom found in my body, aren't they nearly the same? Only the number of protons, electrons are changing, isn't it? But this change in electrons, protons, can it explain that this table cannot speak, think, and talk? But I can. While gold might be having more electrons, protons, neutrons, but again, gold is not able to think, talk, and smile. So definitely the material atom is not able to explain the living world. It's not able to explain. समझ में आ रहा है साइंस का कॉन्ट्रडिक्शन? और डिटेल में, बॉडी, ह्यूमन बॉडी इज मेड अप ऑफ सेल्स और टिश्यू विश्यू समझ ही लेना है ना. Cells are made up of, ultimately all cells are made up of, according to science, है ना. Atoms are made up of electrons, protons, neutrons, further leptons. But howsoever and whatsoever, has anyone found any difference between electrons? Is there any difference between one electron and another electron? One lepton and another lepton? So this means this atom, only any atom in the world only differs in shape. Shape तो वैसी ही रहती है. There is no difference in shape. Rather size and mass. Now, does this explain by any chance that the atom of body is living? Atom, well, it's making us think. We can fall in love, we can have friendship, we can hate. But similar atom which is found in table is not able to do it. So can atoms explain the living world? Material atom? No. Therefore, according to Leibniz, reality must be based on something spiritual. समझ में आई बात? पक्का? Anybody having any confusion? Clear? Okay. So what questions can it cover? बताओ किसका आंसर लग रहा है ये? क्वेश्चंस कौन से बन सकते हैं इस कंटेंट से? अब तुम्हें क्वेश्चंस बनाना भी सीखना पड़ेगा ना, ताकि हाउ व्हाट आर मोनाड? अभी तो मोनाड्स पे आए नहीं हम. Yes, why Leibniz rejected atoms, material atoms. Very good, isn't it? How Leibniz rejected material atoms as the fundamental unit of universe. Simple. Yes. Can you understand? The content is here, but where will you use it? It can be used in various questions. Right? When you write a content, you also have to think about where you can use it, where all you can use it. Why is it important? This is again a method of information retrieval. Information retrieval in the sense, so the information is in different pathways and you have to retrieve it back. So it has to be put in definite nodes in a definite structure so that it can be recalled back. Simple terms. पता है ना ये सब? पक्का? Okay. Why Leibniz philosophy is called as compromised philosophy? We will get to know, because he has compromised philosophy in the sense he has taken some component from this philosophy, some component from this philosophy, some component from another philosophy, and tried to fit it into a new philosophy. So supposedly, ऐसे समझो, somebody took the body of Mercedes, engine of Benz, seats, car seats of Ciaz, stepneys of Innova, और क्या रहेगा? और जो भी मतलब समझ लो, CNG kit of WagonR. And now that person fits everything and feels like ये चल क्यों नहीं रहा है ढंग से? So something like this. So he tried to reconcile lot of things. Leibniz tried to reconcile many components from various philosophies. That is why there was this problem. Okay? Next, Descartes. Descartes' criticism of, या फिर criticism by Leibniz. Descartes' criticism by Leibniz. Descartes' criticism by Leibniz. Leibniz rejected the definition of substance. Leibniz rejected the definition of substance given by Descartes. Full stop. According to Descartes, substance is that which is in itself. Substance is that which is in itself and which is conceived through itself. Full stop. Leibniz said that when Descartes' definition of substance is taken to, Leibniz said that when Descartes' definition of substance is taken to logical conclusion, then it naturally leads to pantheism of Spinoza. Full stop. Therefore, Leibniz gave a new definition of substance. Based on independence to act. Second point. Leibniz also said that Descartes was right. Leibniz also said that Descartes was right in establishing the importance of self. But Descartes' acceptance of matter made Descartes inconsistent. Made Descartes inconsistent. Therefore, Leibniz rejects the matter. Therefore, Leibniz rejects the matter, but retains the mind of Descartes. So somebody online is saying that they have not understood the first point. Democritus. You all have understood Democritus, Pakka? Pakka? Okay. So Democritus said that there are these physical atoms, which Democritus considered to be indivisible. But Leibniz said that anything which has a dimension can still be divided. And howsoever you may divide, if there is extension, it can still be more divided. Anything which can be further divided cannot be the substance or the fundamental unit of universe. Of course, divide हो गया तो मतलब कुछ और छोटा हो गया, वो fundamental हो जाएगा, है ना? So it cannot be the fundamental unit of universe. First, therefore, physical atoms cannot be the fundamental units of universe. Second, these physical atoms differ only in number of shape, size, and mass, or in number of electrons or protons. But these differences cannot explain how a table, which is a non-living thing, differs from a human being, which is a living thing, even though both of them are having similar kinds of atoms. Only the difference is of mass. And that doesn't explain anything. That doesn't explain why this table cannot speak, but I can. Right? It doesn't speak. Atoms still are not able to explain the conscious functions. Conscious functions are not explainable by atoms. Even so, atoms, we collect a lot of non-living atoms. Can you infuse a life into it? No. Even till now, until and unless there is some already existing spark of life, scientists, rather nobody has ever been able to create an independent life. There have been, so what they do, they take a small stem cell here and there and then infuse it, or some other way of doing it. And even if they are able to do it, there was this recent research where some it's not microorganism, microbes were tried to be created. But again, those researches were also contested. So the life in itself not able to explain through atoms. Because the only difference is of number of electrons, protons, and neutrons. And how do you explain? So if you say that if number is more, then there is more consciousness. Then human body atoms has much lesser electrons, protons than the much. So their gold will have more, and platinum will have more, but still they are not able to talk or have consciousness. So अभी तो Leibniz के हिसाब से ऐसा था. Now coming to the energy can only transfer. Yes. So after that, this Descartes Descartes also he criticized. Number one, he said that the definition of substance given by Descartes was wrong. Because on this definition, if you think logically, anything which is in itself and is conceived through itself, logically it leads to substance of Spinoza. और कुछ पहुंच ही नहीं सकते. Logically, this definition will lead to the substance of Spinoza. So he rejected the definition of Descartes and gave his own definition, which is based on force or actions. And last, further, he said that Descartes was right in establishing the self. It established the self through method of doubt. He established, तब तक तो ठीक था. But the moment he tried to defend the matter, there the problem and inconsistencies started. Therefore, Leibniz accepted only and only mind or consciousness. He rejected the matter. According to Leibniz, there is no matter. There is no matter in the world. Rather, everything is a bundle of force. Everything is only a bundle of force made up of infinite number of monads. So this table is not material in nature, but it's a force which is made up of infinite monads. This is a bundle of energy, bundle of force. Similarly, we are a bundle of force or energy. So you must have heard about few self-help theories that go around. है ना? We all are made up of vibrations. है ना? Power of positive thinking. है ना? Think and grow rich. और दूसरा क्या है वो? The Secret, Rhonda Byrne. देखिए, पढ़िए. How many of you have read it? Okay. And many of you have not seen it. Okay. So all these self-help that's going around is based in one way or the other through this theories of spirituality, like the one given by Leibniz. So Leibniz also thought that everything that we see, all the things that you have in this world are just the collection of force or energy, in simple terms. समझ में आ गया? पक्का? ठीक है. डेकार्ट का आ गया, तो नेक्स्ट स्पाइनोजा. अभी मोनाइड्स पढ़े ही कहाँ है हमने? अभी मोनाइड्स बताया मैंने आपको, डेफिनेशन में नहीं लिखवाई है ना. राइट नाउ वी आर जस्ट रिफ्यूटिंग the other philosophers. Until unless Leibniz will refute them, how can he give his own theory? है ना? He will make ground for his own theory. This is just the ground preparation. Okay. अच्छा, और एक दो क्रिटिसिज्म और लिख लो डेकार्ट के. कभी कभी कंपैरिजन भी आ जाता है डेकार्ट के. अच्छा, उसमें हेडिंग डाल दी क्या? अभी मैंने बताई नहीं. काट लो, कोई बात नहीं, थोड़ा सा स्क्रिबलिंग कर लो. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट. Leibniz also criticized acceptance of Descartes, that also criticized Descartes for accepting consciousness as the essence of mind. Leibniz also criticized Descartes for accepting consciousness as the essence of mind. Full stop. According to Leibniz, there are many states. According to Leibniz, there are many states where we fall unconscious. There are many states where we fall unconscious, or are in dreamless sleep, or we are in dreamless state or sleep. But our mind do not cease to exist. But our mind do not cease to exist. Do not cease to exist. Therefore, according to Leibniz, there are many states. According to Leibniz, there are many states which are vague. There are many states which are vague, comma, indistinct, vague, comma, indistinct, and subconscious. And subconscious. Full stop. Hence the concept of mind should be widened. Hence the concept of mind should be widened or expanded. Widened or expanded to include all states of consciousness. To include all states of consciousness. Full stop. Below the level of or threshold of our clear consciousness. ज़्यादा तेज बोल दिया क्या मैंने? Our clear consciousness. There is a dark background of obscured. Obscured क्या होता है? Obscured या obscure? Obscure, धुंधला सा, yes, है ना? Obscure मतलब which is not clear. हम not clear भी लिख सकते हैं, है ना? जरूरी नहीं है obscure लिखना. It's just a heavy word, nothing else. So rather than you obscure, you can write unclear and hazy. Unclear and hazy consciousness and unconscious states. Background of obscured consciousness and unconscious states. Last paragraph. Through his theory of states of consciousness, Leibniz has included unconscious states in his mind. Therefore reconciling animate and inanimate world. Therefore reconciling animate का मतलब क्या होता है? लिविंग वर्ल्ड और ये होता है नॉन लिविंग वर्ल्ड. सिंपल. तुम लोगों ने ज्यादा किताबें पढ़ी नहीं है ना, इसीलिए वोकैबुलरी थोड़ी कमजोर. लेकिन अभी हम कैसे इंप्रूव कर सकते हैं अपनी वोकैबुलरी को? नोट्स पर, बाय रीडिंग मोर. है ना? And whenever you find a difficult word, try to use it. If you will use it, your language, your vocabulary will improve. Okay. A very interesting thing that he has created, है ना? अब arguments किसी को समझ आए या सिर्फ लिख के? किसी को? नहीं? Okay. ये क्या कह रहा है? अभी बच्चों में आपका डील करूंगी क्वेश्चन. So he said that Descartes की क्या क्या परेशानी है? एक तो उसकी परेशानी है कि the definition of substance. When this definition is taken to logical conclusion, one naturally leads to parallelism of finals. First. Secondly, he says that till the time Descartes reached the self, he was right. He should not have accepted and entered into this inconsistency of matter because there is no matter. There is no matter. Third, he says when he told about self, he considered that consciousness is the essence of self. That self means something conscious. But is consciousness the state of self? Like, are we at the same consciousness always? Are we at the same conscious level? No. There are differences. You know? Maybe one time you are really conscious. You are able to observe a lot of things. Sometimes you are sleepy. You know? Things are going past here and there. You are not able to observe. You are not fully aware. A little less. When you are in your bed with earphones, much less conscious. And when you are in sleep, somebody opens your mirror, takes out your laptop. Don't know what happened. है ना? Much less conscious. And dreamless sleep, वो जो एकदम गहरे वाली sleep होती है. You are near, yes, you are not conscious. Nearly, you are nearly unconscious. But is your self gone? मर गए कि नहीं ना? हो? Your self is there. समझ में आ रहा है ना? Your self is still there. So this means that this self, whatever it is, this self can have many levels of consciousness. This self can have many levels of consciousness. From very little, minuscule consciousness to higher, higher, higher. And the highest consciousness level also, where you know everything, where you observe everything. Right? So maybe we as humans, limited beings that we are able to observe only this spectrum. But in reality, this self or this reality, this ultimate reality can have a spectrum of, the spectrum of consciousness from 0 to infinite. समझ में आ रही है बात थोड़ी थोड़ी? अगर बस ये कॉन्सेप्ट समझ में आ गया ना, मोनाडोलॉजी चुटकी का काम है. उसके बाद मोनाडोलॉजी में कुछ है नहीं खास. फिर एक दो छोटे छोटे कॉन्सेप्ट्स और हैं, पर सारी प्रॉब्लम बस इस एक कॉन्सेप्ट को समझने. This world, according to Leibniz, is made up of spiritual. Something spiritual. Something spiritual means this self or mind or spirit or soul. है ना? समझ में आ रही है? Now, Descartes has considered this self to have consciousness. But Leibniz is rejecting it. It's saying that even this consciousness is not static. It's not one thing. This self can have a huge spectrum of consciousness. Like this table is also made up of monads, which are spiritual. But the consciousness is very less. Very less. Not zero. Very. But it doesn't mean that it is not made up of spiritual self. or it is not made up of monads? Or is it? So it is made up of monads, spiritual atoms, force atoms. ये सब नाम है इसके. देखो लेबनीज भी जब डिस्क्राइब कर रहा था तो बहुत सारी आइटम्स से उसे डिस्क्राइब करने की कोशिश करता. पता है क्यों? Because the concept of monad is such, we cannot describe it through any proper words, because all the words we know is something which we have observed, and then you try to correlate the monads with something, but monads is something very unique. Monads is something which is very unique. Therefore, even Leibniz had to use so many different words to explain what exactly he's thinking about monads. So according to Leibniz, monad is something which is spiritual atom. Something which is a spiritual atom, not material, but spiritual atom. Or something which is also known as force points. Force points matlab, it's a very small point and it is like a force. So you must all have heard that light is made up of photons. What are photons? Bundle of energy. Bundle of energy. E is equal to mc square. What is at the end of the spectrum of mass? Energy. So these are also energy points. थोड़ा माइंड बेंडिंग है, थोड़ा साइंस से समझोगे सबसे आसानी से समझ में आएगा, है ना? यू विल हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड इट थ्रू साइंस ओनली. हाँ, इनफाइनाइट आएगा ना. पहले मोनाड्स तो समझ लो, देन वी विल सॉल्व द प्रॉब्लम ऑफ योर बॉडी ऑल्सो, है ना? वी शुड गो स्टेप बाय स्टेप. आई विल एक्सप्लेन, डोंट वरी. So according to Leibniz, the world is made up of something which he calls as spiritual atom, force point, or energy point. According to him, there are these atoms, spiritual atoms or force points, which he calls as monads. And the world, according to him, is made up of monads. And these monads can range from nearly negative infinite to nearly positive infinite consciousness. Nearly no consciousness, nearly no consciousness to infinite consciousness. Nearly no consciousness to infinite consciousness. What are the things which are made up of? Everything is made up of monads. Everything is made up of monads. But those monads which have very less consciousness, you can see in rocks, sand, table, chair, all of these are anything which is material is what? Unconscious monads or nearly unconscious monads. Nearly हमेशा लगाना है ना? नहीं तो inconsistency हो जाएगी. Nearly unconscious monad. उससे थोड़ा सा ऊपर amoeba, microorganisms which are a little more conscious, little. उससे ऊपर plants, they cannot move here and there, but they can still feel and react. A little more animals, a little more above animals. Animals can feel, react, as well as can have impulses. अभी लिखवाऊंगी मैं ये सब, don't worry, है ना? They can have impulses. They have impulses. You go near dog and they, so a dog can hear, understand, and react, as well as if he finds you harmful, he will have an impulse to bite you. Simple. है ना? There is this impulses and instincts in animals. What is instinct? You have you seen migratory birds? How do they reach from one place to? They have that instinct which has developed in them. Isn't it? So animals have a little more consciousness, and humans little more consciousness. He has also accepted spirits, which of course we don't have to read them in our syllabus, but a little more consciousness. But the highest consciousness will belong to? Highest consciousness will belong to God. So it is a kind of a pyramid or evolutionary thing that he has created. At the lowest are the unconscious monads, nearly unconscious monads, like those things which we consider non-living. But are they non-living? They appear non-living because they are made up of nearly unconscious monads. They are also made up of monads, but consciousness is आएगा इसका टाइम आएगा, है ना? Nearly unconscious monads like rocks, table, a little above trees, a little above animals, a little above humans, a little above spirits, highest. क्या इंक्रीज हो रहा है यहाँ से यहाँ तक? Degree of consciousness. So according to this theory, is there any great difference between the table and us? The difference is only of consciousness. Table is also made up of monads. We are also made up of monads. Only difference is consciousness, degree of consciousness. The table is less conscious. Therefore, even when I hit it, it can just make a sound, but cannot react. It cannot hit me back. So it is like, according to Leibniz, it is, which he calls this, there's a particular name for it. He calls it unconscious reaction. It's not proper reaction, but it is the basic nature of it. जैसे अगर मैं अभी पत्थर मार के शीशा तोड़ दूं, तो जो कचक की आवाज आएगी, कचक, मैं तोड़ूंगी नहीं, हमारा ही है ना? लेकिन जो कचक की आवाज आएगी, है ना, the sound of it, what is it? Unconscious. It will happen because of the kind of contact has been made. ठीक है? थोड़ी थोड़ी बात समझ में आ रही है कि लेबनीज, what Leibniz is trying to talk about, है ना? देखो, अगर नहीं भी समझ आ रहा तो कोई बड़ी बात नहीं, because Leibniz is such a philosopher who takes a little time to get absorbed, है ना? No issues. I will repeat everything again also. Till the time you don't understand, don't worry. We will not move ahead. Fine? On any topic. Yes, just let me take few doubts and then we will proceed. Ma'am, explain energy points. Use science. Energy points means just like science has described light as bundle of photons or photons as bundle of energy. Similarly, according to Leibniz, monads are bundle of energy or energy points. Self. What is self? Self is something like mind or soul. That, so when we use in Western philosophy, when we use these terms, they are interchangeably used. Self, soul, mind. Interchangeably used. है ना? Even consciousness. Interchangeably used. So you can use it accordingly. Ma'am, does size of monad equivalent to physical atom? Atom, physical atom is extended. है ना? Physical atom means something which is extended. This is the criticism he is doing of Descartes. If there is extension, it can further be divided. Therefore, he accepts spiritual atoms. Spiritual atoms. Will the spiritual atoms have any extension? There will be no extension. There will be no extension. Dimensionless. We can say. Not exactly, a little less, because there he has not talked about degrees. There he has not talked about perception and repetition. These are few concepts. Come, it will come. It will come. Divide नहीं हो रही. So consciousness is not like matter, which can be divided. वही तो वो कह रहा है, but it will still be divisible. Consciousness has a different flair, and it cannot be compared with something material. With the comparison we are making, that it's not comparable, right? So, and that's true. That's acceptable by science also, that anything which has extension is further divisible. Anything which has extension is further divisible. That is why when you go to a physicist or to a scientist and ask me, what is the, just ask them few questions. बाहर निकाल देंगे तुम. They will not talk to you. Go to a scientist and just ask them, what is the fundamental unit of this universe? What is this universe made up of? Give one answer which you are certain will not change in next 1,000 years. The truth means it will not change, isn't it? So go to any scientist, challenge, open. Not by me, Leibniz. No, it's not the consciousness is not divisible. Okay, you people are not able to imagine the consciousness thing. Like you yourself, you know. So when you are from, you understand your conscious levels when you are in sleep, when you wake up, when you study, when you are with friends, and then you go back to drowsiness in the evening and back to sleep. So what is this? Is it dividing and reuniting? What is it? Just the increase and decrease. It's not division. It's not division. It's not breaking. It is just, it's like a volume, increasing and decreasing. And it is like you are less conscious when you are sleeping. Somebody can take away your wallet. But can somebody take away your wallet when you are awake? So this spectrum of your consciousness is moving from less conscious to more conscious. And even within 10 seconds or 10 minutes, your consciousness wavers so many times. Sometimes you are very attentive in the class, and sometimes you feel like, kya ho raha hai? Hai na? It happens. Because the problem is, attention span is very less. तो बताओ क्या होगा अकॉर्डिंग टू लेबनीज? Very less and nearly un. Turn to dust. Last line कुंभकर्ण. कुंभकर्ण क्या है? अच्छा okay. According to Spinoza, world works on the principle of rationality and the whole world is determined and a very little part of it is based on free will. Aren't these both contradictory? इस स्पाइनोजा से बाहर क्यों नहीं निकल पाया बच्चा? कौन है ये बच्चा? प्रतिभा बेगार. But भाई right now we are studying Leibniz. Even if your question is good, I don't know if it is good or not, but you should ask either before the class, the starting of the class, or at the end of the class, because we cannot disturb the Leibniz understanding. ऊपर करो या नीचे करो? क्या तुमने ऊपर कर रखा है क्या? अच्छा नीचे नीचे करो. Can you explain again the criticism of Descartes' self by Leibniz? Okay, is consciousness same as cognition? No, cognition is knowledge. Consciousness is the awareness that we have, the rationality, the thinking that we have. Cognition is simple knowledge that we gain from sources, external sources. Ma'am, his theory replicates Plato's theory of knowledge. Plato's theory of knowledge? Not exactly. Not exactly. So you might be comparing the both because of that theory of divided line. Because there we divide it like this, from imaginary to the intuitive knowledge. We were having this spectrum. That is why you might be comparing it, but don't make such comparisons in your answers. Never ever. Write only the comparisons that I will be telling you. After everything finishes, we will take some, before your mains exam, we will take some special classes where we will just do comparisons between various theories. Don't worry. And I will tell you all the comparisons, formal, informal, made by Indian philosophers, made by Western philosophers, all of those. So don't worry, but don't make random comparisons yourself. नीचे करो. So ma'am, monads of all the beings are same, but having different quality. Yes, all the monads are same. But what creates difference then? That we will see. That's the difference is created by the different levels of perception and appetition. What are these two? I will explain. Don't worry. We will discuss. But can you digest that the world is not made up of material atoms, but it is made up of spiritual atoms? If you can digest it, only then we will move forward. And coming to the doubt by the student, one of the student, regarding the Descartes' criticism of, criticism of Descartes' self. Who will tell me? Raise your hands. How has Leibniz criticized the concept of self by Descartes? Raise your hands. यहाँ पे क्या भजन चल रहा था? फिर हाँ तो करो, हिम्मत करो. Raise your hands. Yes. And and spectrum. So according to पहले सब बनाई दी अब तो मैंने कहा. So according to Leibniz says that Descartes is right till the time he reaches to the concept of self. You remember na self, how he has reached at this concept of self? Through method of doubt, है ना? I think therefore I am. I am is something conscious. What is that? Soul. Soul or self, है ना? So now this soul or self, Leibniz says that Descartes is right. This is proven. This is perfect. But when Descartes leads to accept matter, that is wrong. Because from how he has proved matter, how Descartes has proved matter? Clear and distinct idea put up by God in my mind. Is it a rational argument? No. Therefore, he says he becomes inconsistent. He should not have accepted matter. Secondly, this soul is having consciousness, but Descartes just says consciousness and doesn't tell us anything about it more. But in essence, Leibniz says that this consciousness ranges from complete or infinite consciousness to nearly zero. Nearly zero consciousness. The spectrum is very huge. So the things which are lying at these levels, nearly zero consciousness, are things which we feel as if they are unconscious. So this table is made up of which type of monads or which type of souls? Nearly unconscious souls, which he calls it souls की जगह monads. Souls अच्छा नहीं लग रहा. That's why he has given another term, monad. So nearly unconscious monads, which he calls as bare monads. Bare monads. Ekdam basic level. Bare monads, nearly no consciousness. Like table, chair, floor, fan, rocks. All of these he considers as bare monads or having no consciousness. A little higher are consciousness, which is found in animal, plants, trees, vegetables. A little higher, animals. A little higher, humans. And a little higher, spirit. Spirits आपको लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है अगर आप ना चाहो तो, because it's not part of our syllabus. And the highest is now. While these bare monads can just accept whatever we do with them. I take this bottle made up of bare monads, according to Leibniz, made up of bare monads. I can crush it. And only thing this bottle will do is make sound. Just a sound. Can it do anything else to us? And if it is cotton ball, it will not even make sound. So there is no reaction, no instinct, nothing. Can this bottle think? ये बोलेगी बद्दुआएं देगी क्या? नहीं. तो ये bottle कुछ नहीं करेगी. क्यों? Because there is no consciousness, very less consciousness, even if it is there. But trees do not locomote, or even there is no locomotion. Yet there are feelings, and still there is reaction. So you go and cut tree. How many of you know that there are certain chemicals that plants release if you cut them, known as मैं नहीं बताऊंगी, जाके पढ़ लेना. ठीक है? इंपॉर्टेंट, यूपीएससी का क्वेश्चन आ चुका है उसमें. सो जाके पढ़ लेना पक्का से. तो ये रहा ट्री. Then animals. Now animals can make locomotion from one place to another. They can move. They also have instincts. So each animal has an instinct that when the animal goes hungry, when they should prey. Have you seen the cubs or the babies of animals or birds? They already know how to fly. They nearly have. So many species are there where the child is born and the mother and father leaves. They are gone. That child actually survives in the wild by itself through the help of instincts. Reproduction, even if nobody tells us, this is a natural instinct. Animals have it. So all of these things in animal world is based on instincts, which is a conscious function, which gets developed over time in these animals. Now humans, but these animals are not able to use rationality. Are animals rational? Rational मतलब क्या वो reasons कर सकते हैं आपस में, मतलब उस तरीके से कर सकते हैं? Can they form a group or political party? है ना? Imagine crocodiles having a political party of their own. No? They can't form political parties. Can they celebrate marriages? No? You are understanding, but is rationality when we are talking about it? They're not able to argue with each other, gossip about each other, है ना? So all of this is not possible in animal world. Then last comes humans. Humans are the most conscious that we can know, and humans have, of course, they have locomotion, they have feelings, they have all this, they have instincts, they have rationality is the highest level of consciousness that we have. And the most conscious is in simple terms. So he has removed the difference between non-living and living. Isn't it? He has removed or resolved the conflict of body and mind. Till now there was this problem, how do body and mind interact? But he says, na body hai na mind hai, sirf mind hi mind hai. Body bhi mind hi hai, बस कम mind है. समझ रहे हो? हाँ, दिमाग तो ये भी है. Table is also mind, but less conscious mind. But ultimately everything is made up of monads, which are conscious in nature. So things which appear as non-living are made up of nearly unconscious monads, in simple terms. So he has removed the difference between animate and inanimate world. He has removed the difference between body and mind. It's a different kind of theory, a little challenging, but it is very interesting. Nomads नहीं, monads. करेगा ना, अभी आगे करेगा थ्रू एपिटिशन एंड परसेप्शन. अभी इसके आगे का प्रोसेस है, बाकी है, कहानी अभी बाकी है. अभी तो हम सिर्फ ये एस्टैब्लिश कर रहे हैं कि मोनाड्स होते हैं. मोनाड्स कैसे रोल प्ले करते हैं, दैट वी विल सी, है ना? So rather than creating attributes, so Spinoza has, अभी हमने Spinoza का criticism लिखा नहीं है, इसके बाद हम लिखेंगे. So according to Spinoza, there is this one substance which is having infinite attributes, and there are these two attributes. Now, with this only one substance, Spinoza is not able to explain the diversity of the world. That how is it so much diverse? And because everything is substance, that the diversity is lost because he tries to explain things through geometric method, making things static. वो समझा नहीं पा रहा है. Spinoza is not able to make us understand that how things are changing and evolving. How things are changing and evolving. He's not able to explain it to us properly. That is why to remove this problem comes Leibniz. There is this one substance, he creates infinite substance. Each of these is known as monads, and each monad is a substance. Each monad is a substance. So this is the criticism we will write in Leibniz, which says that Leibniz actually divided the substance of Spinoza into infinite substances and created his own theory. अभी नहीं समझ में आएगा, थोड़े समय बाद समझ में आएगा जब हम मोनाड्स डिस्कस कर लेंगे, क्योंकि क्रिटिसिज्म पे डायरेक्टली जंप करने का कोई फायदा नहीं है. बट द आइडिया इज दैट डेफिनेटली थ्योरी ऑफ स्पाइनोजा इज आल्सो नॉट करेक्ट कंप्लीटली एंड नाइदर इज द थ्योरी ऑफ लेबनीज की. तो जब हम बुराइयां चालू करेंगे, तो the moment we will start criticizing Leibniz, we will not stop easily, because there are so many. I told you now how he has created his theory. Haven't I told you? बताया ना अभी. So what is how comfortable will be the car of with the body of Mercedes, engine of Wagoner, car seats of scooter, जो भी समझ में आ रहा है? Will this car properly work? No. There will be this inconsistencies. जमाने की कोशिश है ना? He's trying to explain very hard how things are working in the world, and bits and pieces appear logical. Bits and pieces appear logical. Like the moment you see this car from outside, Mercedes की body तो अच्छी है ही, अच्छी बहुत beautiful. But the moment you try to run it, problem, inconsistencies. है ना? This is what happens with the philosophy of Leibniz. Some pieces appear really logical, really nice, but then he did, what do you say, he took philosophy in such a direction कि सारे science fiction सेल कर दिए उसने, है ना? science fiction वाले बना नहीं पाए हैं अभी तक इस पे. The theory that Leibniz gave, no science fiction has ever had the courage to make a movie on this. They made a movie on Shankaracharya, they made a movie on different philosophies, but nobody has ever actually had the courage to make a movie, series or anything out of Leibniz philosophy. Because he created such a system which and after some time he himself stuck into it. मकड़ी का ऐसा जाल बुना कि वो खुद ही फंस गई उसमें वो. He was not able to explain a lot of things. But because he is such a great man and some bits and pieces are really nice, we lead monads or monadology in simple terms. समझ में आया? थोड़ा समझ में आ रहा है? मोनाड्स क्या हैं, क्या बात चल रही है? थोड़ी समझ में आ रही है? जितनी भी आ रही है उतना बहुत है. If you are able to understand 10% of it, fine. Because rest we will understand once we start the theory. Okay? Rejected, yes. So Leibniz rejected the definition of substance given by Descartes and Spinoza. So ma'am, Spinoza's attribute is equal to Leibniz monad. No. Spinoza's substance is equal to Leibniz monads. So Spinoza has accepted only one. Leibniz has created how many substances? But the characteristics of this chota sa, tiny, infinitesimally small monad is nearly the same as this substance. Same characteristics. Okay, I'll show you how. So supposedly this substance. Give me some characteristics of the substance of Spinoza. Eternal, infinite, perfect, causa sui, self-sufficient, indeterminate, indescribable, impersonalistic, अनलिमिटेड। रट के बैठा है बेटा, तुम लोगों को नहीं जीतने दे रहा ये, बता दूं मैं। वो शर्मा गया, उसे लगा नजर लग जाएगी। तो समझ में। अब सेम, एवरीथिंग यू कट, कॉपी, पेस्ट, सेम। यस, हमने इनफाइनाइट एट्रीब्यूट्स लिखा है क्या इसमें? इनफाइनाइट, इनफाइनाइट, बस इनफाइनाइट। हाँ सबसे, हाँ हाँ, बट इट इज इनफाइनाइट, बस। वो बताऊंगी मैं, व्हाट इज मैक्रोकॉज्म इन माइक्रोकॉज्म, करेंगे हम वो थ्योरी भी, है ना, पिक्चर भी देखेंगे छोटी सी, डोंट वरी। लेकिन he took this substance and each monad is having same characteristics, same characteristics are found in each monad. तो क्या करा इसने लेबनीज ने, थोड़ा थोड़ा समझ में आ रहा है? According to Leibniz, the world is made up of monads. How many monads are there? Infinite. Now each monad, each infinitely small monad is made up of force or energy or something conscious. Force, energy or something conscious. एक ही बात है, something which is conscious, which is having force, which is having energy. This is of the nature energy. Now these monads, which are energy points or force points, make up the entire world. Make up the entire world. These monads have no dimension. कोई साइज नहीं है इनका, कोई डायमेंशन नहीं है इनके पास, सिर्फ क्या है? फोर्स, सिर्फ फोर्स है। अभी हर चीज बनाते हैं, एवरीथिंग इज मेड अप ऑफ मोनाड। दिस मीन्स दैट टेबल इज मेड अप ऑफ मोनाड, आई एम ऑल्सो मेड अप ऑफ मोनाड, यू आर ऑल्सो मेड अप ऑफ मोनाड। Everything is made up of monads. This means that if all of us are made up of monads, what is the difference between this table and me? The consciousness. So according to Leibniz, the monads have a range of consciousness from nearly zero, like in table, to a little higher consciousness of rationality, like me. Though we are both made up of monads, the difference is of only consciousness, nothing else. They are also monads, I am also monads. They are just less conscious, I am a little more conscious. Even within us, there is a difference of consciousness. Half of you are sleeping, half of you are drowsy. नहीं तो complete हो जाएगा. So 10% is sleeping, 10% is drowsy, 10% is moderately active, 10% is quite active, और next 10% is really active, जैसे ऐसे कर रहे हैं, they are really active, and another 10% is super active, उन्हें समझ भी आ गई ये थ्योरी, and a little more, वो तो समझा भी देंगे। समझ में आ रहा है? Within this class also there is this spectrum of consciousness. So the people who are less conscious or sleeping are like, बाकी तो तुम अपने आप समझदार हो, है ना? समझ में आ रहा है? So this spectrum of consciousness is found in everything according to Leibniz. ठीक है? Fine? पक्का? पक्का? Let's move forward. Online students? Okay. Next, criticism of Spinoza by Leibniz. Criticism of Spinoza by Leibniz. Leibniz criticized Spinoza. Leibniz criticized Spinoza as he has made the world static. As he has made the world static. And could not explain the dynamism and could not explain the dynamism and diversity of this world. And could not explain the dynamism and diversity of this world. Further, Leibniz also criticized Spinoza for accepting extension. For accepting extension as one of the attributes of its substance. Full stop. Accepting extension as attribute of substance makes the substance divisible. Accepting extension as one of the attributes of substance makes the substance divisible. ओके सब्सटेंस वाला स्पाइनोजा समझ में आ गया इसमें तो कुछ है ही नहीं दिस इज टू सिंपल है ना ओके नेक्स्ट हेडिंग मोनाड्स एक सर्कल बना लो ऐसा ही अब लिखते जाओ बताओ पहले तुम लोग बताओ फिर मैं लिखवाऊंगी जो बच जाए लिखो फर्स्ट स्पिरिचुअल एटम या फिर रुको कुछ ही लोग बोलते हैं ऐसा क्यों यहां से बोलना स्टार्ट करो एब्सोल्यूट नहीं लिखो रुको और बताओ परफेक्ट फर्स्ट पॉइंट राइट परफेक्ट सेकंड एनर्जी पॉइंट थर्ड हरदीप spiritual atom और कुछ इटर्नल इम्पर्सनल वैसे इम्पर्सनल इसमें वो है नहीं मतलब इसमें रिक्वायर्ड नहीं है लेकिन लिख लो लिखना चाहते हो तो इम्पर्सनल इनफाइनाइट कॉन्शियस भगवान की डिस्क्रिप्शन दे रहे हैं क्या बताया नहीं था अभी कि कॉग्निशन में और कॉन्शियसनेस में फर्क होता है व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन कॉग्निशन एंड कॉन्शियसनेस सो रहे थे ना यस इंडिविजिबल जरूर इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है इंडिविजिबल उसने पूरी क्रिटिसिज्म ही इंडिविजिबिलिटी पे बनाई है अभी तक हाँ और बताओ has different levels of consciousness okay फंडामेंटल यूनिट ऑफ यूनिवर्स, फंडामेंटल यूनिट ऑफ, वो बताऊंगी मैं, वो कहां से आएगा। अनएक्सटेंडेड, अनएक्सटेंडेड, ओके। फोर्स पॉइंट, यस, फोर्स पॉइंट, फोर्स पॉइंट। एनर्जी पॉइंट लिख लो, हो गया। अच्छा, स्पिरिचुअल, स्पिरिचुअल एटम भी हो गया। और अल्टीमेट रियलिटी, नहीं हुआ, लिख लो अल्टीमेट रियलिटी। इंडिपेंडेंट, नहीं हुआ, लिख लो। मेटाफिजिकल पॉइंट, मेटाफिजिकल पॉइंट। यूनिक, यूनिक, हाँ तो यूनिक फ्रॉम ईच अदर, वही यूनिक। डायनेमिक, डायनेमिक। एक्टिव, एक्टिव। इनडिटर्मिनेट, इनडिटर्मिनेट। इमटेरियल हो गया था, नहीं हुआ तो लिख लो इमटेरियल। और वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, लिखो एक और, मोनैड्स आर विंडोलेस, विंडोलेस, खिड़की नहीं है उनमें, विंडोलेस। क्या चीज, हाँ अभी बताऊं, विंडोलेस, कोई खिड़की नहीं है। अरे बताऊंगी यार भाई, अभी लिख लो, तभी तो मैंने बताया। हाँ लिख लो। मोनैड्स आर आल्सो कंप्लीट इन देमसेल्व्स, मोनैड्स आर कंप्लीट इन देमसेल्व्स, सेल्फ सफिशिएंट, बिल्कुल। और बताओ। हम्म, नहीं सेल्फ कंसीव नहीं कैसे, और सोचो, और बताइए, अब बताओ कितने लिख सकते हैं हम फीचर्स। We can write many. After reading printed notes, you find 5 more. नहीं वो बताऊंगी। So you can find 5 more. You write, you add in this. You know, once you see this circle, you already have ready-made 10-15 points. कुछ नहीं भी हो, 10-15 points are in your hand directly. You don't have to think much. And once you, so right now you people have learned these, just now only. That is why you, गर्मी नहीं लग रही कुछ, एसी क्यों नहीं चल रहा किसको। नहीं तो यार थोड़ा आगे पीछे कर दो ना, आगे पीछे हो जाओ बच्चों, थोड़ा आगे बैठ जाओ, इधर आ जाओ, किसको ठंड लग रही है। हाँ कोने में बैठ जाओ उन दोनों के बीच में। हाँ हाँ सच में बहुत गर्मी हो गई है, शुरू से लग रही है। तुम पीछे जाओ, तुम आ जाओ। बेचारे ऑनलाइन वाले बच्चे सब सोचते होंगे क्या गर्मी एसी कर रहे हैं, हम लोग तो अपने अपने कमरे में बैठ के देख रहे हैं, सो रहे। मुझे याद है कि एक बार माय माय सिस्टर इन लॉ सन केम टू आवर होम ना, वो भी पीछे कोविड वोविड के चक्कर के अंदर बड़ी छुट्टियां हो गई थी। सो वो एक बार ऐसे क्लास अटेंड कर रहा था स्कूल के अंदर ना, ऐसे लेट गया बेड पे, है ना, और ऐसे उसने लैपटॉप रखा और ऐसे करके वो क्लास अटेंड कर रहा है ना। थोड़ी देर बाद मैं जाकर देखा, मैंने कहा सच में सो गया था, वो सच में सो गया था, और वो चेहरा उसका वैसे ही दिख रहा था, मतलब स्क्रीन पे। मैंने कहा यार ये ऑनलाइन थिंग ना तो बच्चों प्लीज ऐसे मत पढ़ना। फिलॉसफी वैसे भी थोड़ी दिमाग का गेम है ना। कॉफी वॉफी पी के आया करो, है ना, कॉफी पी के आया करो, so that you remain conscious monad, not unconscious monads. Okay, fine. ठीक है, तो how many features you can write? Any number of features you can write. N number of features you can write. Okay. So now, क्या टाइप हुआ है? आज ही समझा दिया जाए या लिखवा दिया जाए? अच्छा आज जल्दी छोड़ देते हैं, टेस्ट है, ठीक है, कल टेस्ट है, ठीक है, आज ये करते हैं, क्योंकि अभी वैसे भी जो हमारा अगला कॉन्सेप्ट है ना वो पूरा डिटेल में हम लोगों को करना पड़ेगा. वी विल हैव टू स्पेंड अ कंटिन्यूअस हाफ एन आवर फॉर एक्सप्लेनेशन ऑफ दैट एट लीस्ट. सो आज जितना करा उतना समझ में आ गया? पक्का? So tomorrow test, how will you write your test? Windowless I will explain, don't worry Rohit. How will you write your test? Some features of it. First, things that you will keep in mind. Complete your paper. है ना? I know it's difficult. Accordingly, we will give you time. Don't worry. 7-7 मिनट दूं, 10-10 मिनट दूं? हाँ? 10 मिनट, चलो अभी के लिए. So for starting days times, each question will be given to you 10 marks, 10 minutes. But in exam it will be 7 minutes, right? है ना? For you, because you are new to the system, 10 minutes for each question. Fine. And how will you write it? You will write it trying to follow a structure. You will read it trying to follow a structure. Even if you forget some things, it's okay. I'm not expecting you to be able to learn everything. Nobody can learn such things instantaneously. My expectation with you is twofold. First, you will at least give a reading to these 4 philosophers. Just a reading. But don't read them continuously. Plato padha, fir Aristotle padhiye. If you do this, what will happen? Mix up. Aristotle will mix up in Descartes, Spinoza will mix up in Plato. HD. So for avoiding this mashup, what will you do? I'm going to tell you. So read one philosopher only at a time. Supposedly you have read Plato. Then after reading Plato, make a structure around him. Structure, complete structure in 1 page. Similarly, 1 page for Aristotle, 1 page for Descartes, and 1 page for Spinoza. Fix that page in your room. Fix that flow chart in your room. Whenever you are passing by, just link. Mota concept. I'm not saying internal details. Internal details you will remember. There is no problem. Just the mota details. That how things connect to each other. And how things connect. So once you are clear with this structure, you just have to revise or read a notes. You read it 10 times, you will learn it. If you sit and learn it, it will take a lot of days. Just read. Sometimes slowly, sometimes fast. Sometimes slowly, sometimes fast. There is also a chain of it. I'll tell you some other day. But how to read? So first time you read really fast, then little slow, then slow. Then next time again fast. In this manner, the things actually get retained in your brain. How will you utilize today and tomorrow? Today go back and read Spinoza. Then Descartes. Then Aristotle. And lastly, Plato. Or you can also reverse the cycle. but whatever you do, keep a break of half an hour between each philosopher. Read some GS, read some newspaper or something else, something like this. Ma'am, ये जो criticism किया Leibniz ने, can it be included in his epistemology? No, epistemology we will do. है ना? It's a epistemology of Leibniz is not important. A very small part also we will do. This is not his epistemology. This is his metaphysical criticism of the metaphysics of Spinoza, Descartes, and other philosophers. Pakka? Bye bye.